Hello and welcome to the international news on the network service of the NTA. I am Ronke Kolawole. First, the headlines. To fast-track national development, federal government adopts data-driven decision-making system. United Nations General Assembly's 74th presidency in partnership in focus as correspondent examines the engagement of Nigerian team in the successful election. Plus, Slovakia first female president takes office. The federal government has adopted a data-driven decision-making system for all ministries, departments and agencies to fast-track national development. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, said this at a 5-day training program for civil servants in Abuja. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
Investigations have shown that most ministries, departments and agencies work with estimated data for decision-making. This challenge is what the 5-day training program on survey design, data investigation and reporting for civil servants seeks to address. Hello. Participants were taken through the modern way of collection, analyzing, interpretation and application of data. Analysis of data. Permanent Secretary, Service Policies and Strategies Office said the era of relying on hearsay over government's policies without any statistical backup is over, and civil servants through data-driven method will lead the way. Addressing the trainees, Mrs. Oyoita said federal government has procured specialized softwares for the implementation of the policy to enable post-training learning.
If we do not train ourselves to be technologically capable of meeting up the demands that we face every day, then even the socio-economic development of Nigeria would be at risk.
I believe with all certainty that they will be able to contribute immensely to the development of the Federal Civil Service.
We can now give interpretations, analyze our data and give reports.
78 civil servants participated in the pilot program. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Meanwhile, individuals or groups dealing with child-related cases in Nigeria can now access uniform, adequate and reliable data as a national child protection information management system comes on board. This was put together by the Federal Minister of Women Affairs and UNICEF. Mamsodeme Dati has that report.
Asmau Bensis-Leo works with the National Emergency Management Agency. She is one of the 30 trained persons from different ministries, departments and agencies on operational relevance in child protection data and interventions.
Children in emergency situations suffer a lot from abuse, neglect and exploitation. So it is important for my agency to participate so that in terms of our intervention, planning and strategies, we'll be able to put this knowledge we've gained into good use.
Asmau and other trainees as well as other key parties are at this launch of the National Child Protection Information Management System designed to strengthen interagency approach to child protection case management in Nigeria.
We work electronically. This particular software will enable us establish and maintain linkages with other levels of operation, with other stakeholders like the states from the federal government.
And it enables all of the data to come together, both at a state level but also at a federal level, to be collated, analyzed, and to inform strategies in order to help prevent and respond to violence against children.
Protection issues of education, protection issues of health, protection issues of nutrition, a whole lot of issues of protection are packaged in the CPIMS.
The formal inauguration of this office in the ministry indicates a change in the old narrative. Mamsodeme Dati, NTA News.
And talking about security issues now, the Nigerian Navy has continued to record several feats within the nation's maritime domain, with the recent being the seizure of contraband worth 45 million naira along the Calabar waterways. Commander, Nigerian Navy Ship Victory, Commander Vincent Okeke, who handed over the goods to the Nigerian Customs Service, said Navy will not relent in its fight against crime. Messi Unto has details.
The suspects, numbering 14, were arrested by officers of the Nigerian Navy Ship Victory alongside some wooden boats carrying 449 bags of foreign rice, 115 drums of palm oil, 972 fairly used tires, 139 bales of used clothes, engine, and 105 drums of premium motor spirits (PMS) transiting from Cameroon. While handing over the contraband, Commodore Vincent Okeke noted that the command will not relent in tackling all forms of criminalities threatening the safety of Nigeria's waterways.
We've gone a step further to arrest the owners of the goods. I believe that will serve as further deterrence against such crimes.
The customs authorities who received the seized items lauded the Nigerian Navy for the feat and reiterated their resolve to partner with the officers at all times.
The Navy has been complimenting us. We're actually doing our own part. We are not sitting down. We are doing everything possible within our ambit to make sure that we deter them from bringing goods that would destroy our economy.
The suspects will soon be prosecuted. In Calabar, Messintor, NTA News.
The successful election of the President of the 74th United Nations of the nation's General Assembly, UNGA, Professor Tijani Mohamed Bande, did not come on a silver platter. In this special report, Joy Osiago examines the power of engagement and partnerships adopted by the Nigerian team as game-changing strategy for the African presidency of UNGA 74.
Meet Professor Tijani Mohamed Bande, Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations, and his deputy, Ambassador Samson Itegbuje. They worked together as a team at the United Nations to establish and nurture long-term partnerships to drive Nigeria's agenda while advocating and implementing reforms that support the United Nations' diverse and challenging priorities. They used the same template in the build-up to Professor Bande's election as the president of the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly.
Delegations were on board because they see reflected in our vision statement things that resonate with them in terms of importance and urgency. Over the last few years, we have worked with literally all delegations to solve this or that problem.
There were some few countries that were to run with us. So due to diplomatic shuttles both from here and headquarters and the presidency, they stepped down. And when we started this journey, what we did was to run from every level. Then we again went for key member states that we know that should support our bid. And so we got these people to buy into our candidacy. Professor Bande is loved by his colleagues. Why is it so? Because he's a very humble man. He does not carry any airs, and when he intervenes at the UN, you must find substance in it. And more importantly, Professor Bande has the support of Mr. President, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari.
In other words, in an evolving global environment, what is required for success is positive engagement and partnerships.
The President of the General Assembly has only 1 year to galvanize support at the highest level on some matters that are crucial.
Right now, we have countries who have pledged to give us personnel. Some have pledged to give us money to run the office of the President of the General Assembly. It is the responsibility of the President of the General Assembly to source for funds, external funds, to run the office.
Well, September is just around the corner. The world is eager to see the value the African and Nigerian presidency will add to this multilateral organization. From the United Nations headquarters in New York, Joy Usiago, NTA News.
Over now to Fatima Aliyu for trending news from other parts of the globe.
Anti-corruption campaigner Zuzana Kaputova was sworn in as Slovakia's first female president on Saturday, vying to fight and champion justice in a country shaken by a journalist's murder last year. The killing of the journalist who investigated high-level graft cases and his fiancée at their home last Friday sparked mass street protests and hit the approval ratings of the governing leftist party. The ruling party is still the most popular party, but Kaptova's victory in the March presidential vote boosted the opposition Liberal Alliance Progressive Slovakia together, which backed her and aims to unseat the ruling party in a 2020 general election. Moving on, the Hong Kong government has suspended its highly controversial plan to allow extraditions to mainland China despite mass protests from Hong Kong residents. Protesters have expressed concern at the increased Chinese influence and called for the government to pause and think. The government had argued the proposed extradition bill would plug the loopholes so that the city would not be a safe haven for criminals following a murder case in Taiwan. Meanwhile, a man who stabbed Brazilian President Bolsonaro at a campaign rally last September has been acquitted after a judge ruled he was mentally ill. The federal judge concluded that he cannot be tried under Brazilian law because he was not fully aware of his actions at the time. The judge, however, said he was high risk and jailed him for an indefinite period so he can receive treatment. The court's decision did not go down well with Mr. Bolsonaro, who said he would try to get the decision overturned and contact his lawyer to do whatever is possible. The president, who required surgery after the incident, suggested the attack was politically motivated. Fatima Aliyu, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja. Stay tuned for a short break.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA International News. Commitment and dedication to duty are the watchwords of President Buhari in his quest to take the nation to the next level. This guest at the maiden June 12th National Democracy Day celebration said encouraged them to leave their homes to be part of the celebration. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has that report.
The Nigerian Television Authority was all out as the full paraphernalia of the outside broadcast coverage system was deployed for the coverage of the ceremony to ensure that the people at home did not miss out in any way. It was during our special coverage of the ceremony that our camera lens caught the personal assistant to the president on social media, Loretta Onochie, conducting live interviews of the glamorous ceremony. Loretta Onochie said Nigeria has the largest population of internet users in Africa. Our aim, she said, was to make sure her target does not miss out too.
Yes, our principal is a people's person. He loves hard work, and so he's our role model, he's our mentor, and there's nothing else we could learn from him other than all that is good to move Nigeria forward. And that's why you see all of us, we're all doing our jobs, the way he has given it to us, and I think Nigerians will be better off for it.
So if your leader, the president of a country, is not relaxing and is doing such, he hardly sleeps, then what will he be doing? And if you look at all the ministers he has worked with, you can see it on them. You can see that this is a public service, this is a service to the nation, and you must not play with it.
His Royal Highness Apollos Chu Egbere Mere said traditional rulers are in total support of the Buhari administration to ensure the sustenance of Nigerian cultural values.
And the traditional ruler, they have to promote custom, tradition, because in their custom and tradition, he actually bring education of people having a moral behavior, and by that society will be peaceful and order.
Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
For a review of stories making headlines during the week, Obiageli Ugoke is our guide.
Hello and a warm welcome to the Week in Review. We begin with Democracy Day celebration. Nigeria this week commemorated the maiden edition of a memorable day in history, June 12 Democracy Day, a rare moment that showcased the nation's unity. In furtherance of June 12 Democracy Day, President Muhammadu Buhari named National Stadium after late Moshood Abiola. Speaking at the Democracy Day celebration, the president described as unshaken his optimism about Nigeria's future.
We are committed to assembling a strong team of Nigerians and allies to implement our transformative plans and proposals.
In a swift reaction, President Buhari has continued to receive accolades from Nigerians. Many of them described the action as triumph of democracy.
No matter what, definitely his name will always be mentioned. The youth need to take advantage of that name so that tomorrow they can be better than Abiola and then make Nigeria great.
From the National Assembly, we brought you a report that Senator Ahmed Lawan from Yobe State has emerged president of the 9th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The event also witnessed a 7 senators-elect inauguration.
Senator-elect Ahmed Ibrahim Lawal, 79 votes. Senator-elect Mohammed Ali Ndume, 28 votes. Having scored the highest vote of the total number of votes cast, is hereby returned as duly elected President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Still from the National Assembly, the immediate past leader of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, was elected Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives. President Muhammadu Buhari this week granted audience to the newly elected President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, on a thank you visit. President Buhari formally congratulated the new presiding officers of the Senate on their election, and he described their overwhelming victory on the floor of the Senate as a clear indication that the 9th National Assembly is united across party lines. In a related development, President Muhammadu Buhari addressed a joint meeting of the All Progressives Congress governors, members of the National Working Committee, and the APC caucus in the National Assembly in Abuja. A 200-bed capacity hospital, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari Foundation Maternity Clinic, was inaugurated this week in Yobe, Adamawa State.
We need more foundations, the serious-minded foundations, the genuine foundations, to be supported by wealthy Nigerians to see how we can make a difference in the lives of the less privileged ones.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, arraigned 2 former staff of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, for fraudulent conversion of over 37 million naira obtained from the sale of JAMB scratch cards. That's the package. I'm Obiageli Ugweke. Many thanks for your time.
Let's go to accommodation issues in the FCT. Despite the housing deficit declared in Nigeria, there still exists a litany of houses not occupied due to growing affordability challenge in Abuja. It affects and spread from the very low income to the moderate income households. Omini Oden searches into the parameters for pegging house rents in Abuja, the nation's capital.
The central business district of Abuja comes alive during weekdays but looks empty at weekends and during public holidays. Reason being, most residents working in the public and private sectors choose to live in adjoining states of Nasarawa, Niger, Kogi, and Kaduna, where they can afford rentable apartments. This development has returned rentable apartments, plazas, and sundry structures to the property market, but the affordability challenge remains. So, what parameters are used to determine rents in Abuja? And the other question is, who regulates them?
You cannot peg rent. You only put a property in the market at a rent. If there is demand for it, it will go. If there is no demand for it, it will stay.
Systems, activities is not solely in the hands of government. Government is public, but we have the factor of the private sector as well. Government cannot do it alone.
For those who can afford, it might be easy in the first instance, but at the expiration of the tenancy, it becomes a huge challenge.
For instance, if you look at this environment, you might see a two-bedroom apartment rented out for a particular amount, and the next compound, the next building will be higher or lower than the other one, and there won't be much difference.
More than half of what they saved goes to the landlords, and they can hardly do anything for themselves.
The high-end structures are unoccupied because those who should occupy them cannot afford the cost. The developers, on the other hand, are stuck with it. It does not mean that government has not taken steps to ensure that rents or workers' challenge on rents is assuaged, but there seems to be a ring by our investigation. Is this problem not surmountable?
The government should relocate the offices to the satellite towns where the people can afford to pay.
Not ignore the aspect of mortgages as well. If it is not working, it's a reflection of some of the larger problems we've always pointed out.
We must have a workable mortgage run properly by people who know what it is.
With the housing deficit in the neighborhood of 17 million, even when a lot of houses in Abuja are unoccupied due to cost, the way to go is really the solution to this trend. But how soon? In Abuja, Omini Odan, NTA News.
And to other news now, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has once again demonstrated its dominance in the Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces and Security Agencies Half Marathon, as Clement Olorutoba reviews the third edition held today in Abuja.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces and Security Agencies 21.5 kilometers half marathon, which is in its third year running, is the initiative of the current Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olonisakin.
It is the desire of the Defense Headquarters under my watch to restore these glorious days by using the platform provided by the Half Marathon Championship.
This year's edition had 180 participants from 10 security agencies, and for the first time witnessed veteran athletes, including the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai. Gideon Goyet, who won the first edition in 2017, took the lead to the finishing point at the Agui Urosika tournament to cut away the star prize in 1 hour, 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Deborah Palm, who won the first and second editions, did not disappoint as she proved her worth in the 2019 edition.
The way they promote it this year is very, very good.
I'm feeling happy, excited that I still won the third edition of Armed Forces Games.
As the federal government is focused on building a well-equipped and united armed forces and security agencies, I urge you all to embrace the spirit of the Games motto, "Together we are."
The fourth edition will be in year 2020.
In Abuja, Clement Olorutoba, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sadness over the death of Senator Babayo Garba Gamawa, describing the lawmaker as invaluable and immeasurable assets to the nation. The president, who condoled with the senator's family, government, and people of Bauchi State, said Senator Gamawa's defection to All Progressives Congress APC from PDP was a moral booster to the party. In a statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, described Senator Gamawa as grassroots politician, all will be difficult to forget owing to his immense contribution to the governing party's success and development of democracy in Nigeria. The president prayed God to forgive his gentle soul and reward his good deeds with paradise. Next is quick check on Sunday's weather prospect for Nigeria and some cities of the world.